Longfellow once said, "Art is the revelation of a person." I think that public art is the revelation of a community. I'm here today to talk to you about what it takes to make big, bold ideas happen. I'm here today to ask you to take the big, bold ideas out of your mind, out of your thoughts, out of your heart, and express them to the world. The idea that happened to me only a few years ago, started in 2005, was called the Maine Center for Creativity. It was a place that I wanted to gather folks together to talk about how would we put our community back together? How would we bring art and business together to move forward, both economically and culturally? We started with a group of 15 volunteers. We decided we had an interesting idea, and it was taking a look at how other people around the world might see us. How would they see us? Through Google Earth? Would that be the way that people might be able to visit Portland, Maine? We knew we had shipping lanes that people came into. We knew we had the international jet port that people could see us from. Millions of visitors come through this way. And we also thought, well, we don't have a lot of money, and we don't know how to really get the world to take a look at the exciting things that are happening here in Maine. We thought that we wanted to put Maine on the map for creativity and innovation, to put all the things that you've heard about today, the patents that people invented, the interesting things people have done, the places they've gone, to really create a place that would turn into a nurtured, happy, safe place where you could think about ideas and bring them to fruition. I was lucky enough to have a life where I was a single mom with 2 kids working a full-time job. And I thought a lot about, what will I do to give back to my community? When I thought about that, I knew I wanted to bring art into the equation because that's what gave me pleasure. It was great to look at art, to talk to the artists about the philosophies of life. I didn't have any art skills. I didn't know how to paint. I didn't know how to draw or sculpt, play music, all the things that I enjoyed so much. So I wondered out loud, how will I make this idea happen? It was on a bike ride with my husband at Bug Light Park that suddenly a new idea came to me about how I could give back to the community. I was riding at Bug Light Park on a beautiful sunny day. You know the blue sky that you see on a September day? It's really bright and vivid. And I thought, wow, we are so lucky to see this beautiful view. But then my eyes got averted by a group of white tanks. And those white tanks were not quite as attractive. They were industrial tanks. And I suddenly had a flash in my mind, that eureka moment, the aha moment, where I thought, wow, I think they would look fabulous if we put design and color on them. Can you imagine thinking about something crazy like that? Have you ever thought of something crazy like that yourself? Show of hands, anyone thinking about crazy ideas? Yeah, good number of you. So naturally, I thought people would laugh, and some of them did. But the best thing that happened after that bike ride is I went to my book group, and I said, I need to share with you this idea I'm having, and I just want to know what you think. They liked it so much, they said, we'll be your committee. Aha, I finally had a path that I could follow, this aha moment. The path was ask people to help. I had a cup of coffee with the person who headed up the public art committee, and I said, I have this idea to transform tanks. She said, wow, it's a big one, but guess what? I can give you some material that might help you get to your next step. I'd like you all to think about your big, crazy idea, especially the one that is so big that you really cannot imagine all the steps that you would take to get there. And I'd like you to think about just sharing that idea with one person. Think about what's the next step after that next person. I even told my boss. I thought my boss might fire me because, after all, I was thinking about painting giant oil tanks. I wasn't thinking about doing my job. So think about unusual people to tell, people that you might think you have to hide the idea from, because you might be surprised to find they want to help you make the idea happen as well. I also didn't know anything about how would you put the money together? How would you run the accounts? What would be the legal agreements? Because I didn't own the tanks. None of the people in the organization owned the tanks. What would we do? We had to get legal agreements together. We had to get insurance, all sort of the nitty-gritty. None of it did I understand or know about. Imagine if you're a junior in high school or if you're a senior in high school, that these are some of the things you're thinking about. You've got great ideas. They're brilliant. You can see them in your mind, but you're not quite sure how you're going to do it. I'm asking you today to just think about telling one person. Take your science ideas and your math ideas and put them together with your art ideas. Put the scientists and the artists in your classroom together and say, I have this idea. Help me figure it out. It was really the only path I knew to take. Everyone asked me to put a business plan together. Has anyone here put a business plan together? How many of you have been able to follow that business plan every step of the way? If you put a business plan together, you probably know that it changes all the time. And that's another important step in this whole process. Keep in mind that if you like your idea, you want to make it happen, just keep going down that path. A group of 15 people were able to get together and volunteer their time to paint a group of tanks. We got a lot of people at the Sprague Energy Company to agree to let us run an international competition. We had 560 proposals from 80 countries, 1 million people visiting the website at Maine Center for Creativity to look at the creative things that people in Maine were doing. I never thought I'd do that. So if you're thinking about, if you're a junior or you're a senior and you're thinking about, what will I do? You probably don't know. You probably have some great ideas. Just want you to tell one person and then tell the next person and keep telling them about that idea, because the people around you are going to be the ones that help make your idea fly. And if you're looking for something really courageous to do, jump into the fine arts, because that's where really exciting, deep, meaningful things happen. Thank you.